And I wanted to do a quick live with you on inspiration and Gen Z. I just went live in my Facebook group, and I'll go ahead and post the link to that in the chat if you'd like to join the group. We have some lively discussions there, and there is some free content and things like that that I share exclusively with that group. So if you would like to have access to that, you're more than welcome, and I will post the link in the chat. Here we go. There it is. Okay. So today, I don't know if you can hear the rain in the background, but it's raining right now and it's so beautiful. But anyway, today I wanted to talk to you about inspiration and Gen Z. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So when we talk about inspiration and Gen Z, the first question that we want to ask ourselves is, okay, what is the impact of all of this inspiration? Like what's going on? What's the impact? What's the end game? What's the product? What's the conclusion that we get at the end of this? And so from my own experience, I know how important daily inspiration is for me, because it's oftentimes the difference between whether I wake up in the morning excited and grateful to be able to take on another day, or whether I procrastinate and sort of wallow in my own imposter syndrome, if that makes sense. And so for Gen Z in particular, inspiration is, at least in my view, it's critical to reaching them. Because for them, what's normal to them is oftentimes abnormal to us. But for them, it's just like an average day. So I'll give you an example. So a few months ago, I had posted a TikTok video describing the experience of an elementary school student that I, was lucky enough to have met. And the child was in 4th grade, I believe. Oh, did you hear that thunder? Okay. Anyway, sorry. So the child was in 4th grade, I believe, but this child was suffering from crippling anxiety related to his academics that caused him to spiral on a daily basis if he got, even one answer wrong on a practice activity, a worksheet, a quiz, or a test. And he was not the only one that was like this. This was like an elementary school classroom full of kids that had this, severe anxiety. I mean, I'm talking like spiraling, right? And so, it was just too much pressure on them. So for many Zers, right, like that's abnormal to us, or some of us maybe. And for many Zers, like this is normal. It's normal to constantly feel that way. And, some of them have even said that even from their earliest moments in school that they can recall, things have always sort of felt that way. So when I posted that video, some Zers asked me, they said, wait, this isn't normal? You mean to tell me that things haven't always been this way in school? And so I will sort of share my experience in school with them. And if I have one available, I'll sometimes show them a yearbook from like a different decade or from when I was coming up. And I'll try to have an enlightening conversation with them about what they see as compared to what's posted on social media, for example, or even in their own yearbooks. And this gives them a little bit of perspective and stimulates their thoughts with regards to how they live. So some questions that I'll ask them, for example, are, when you read the captions in this yearbook below the based on the people who are in the photo, do you think they're truly enthusiastic and excited in terms of what they're doing? And can you envision yourself there in this moment, in this picture? Can you really envision yourself or see yourself there, smiling like they are? And what do you think is making this person smile so much? And I'll say, have you ever experienced a moment like this? Tell me a little bit about that. And then I'll say, with regards to social media, I'll say, is what you see on social media, like, do you think that what you see on social media is kind of carefully calibrated and calculated, or do you think it's more candid and spontaneous? In other words, is it truly authentic? Is it in the moment, right? And can it even be both? Can it be both of those things? What do you think, right? Do you think that it's possible to have a clear understanding of how someone feels on the inside, what's going on internally with them? Do you think it's possible to have a clear understanding of that based on someone's social media content? And the same thing with yearbooks, right? So, and I'll also ask them the question, I'll say, when you wake up in the morning, are you in the moment, or are you absorbed in the digital world right from the beginning, right? So now back to this concept of inspiration. So each day I try to share something moving with my students, something that gets them to feel something, or something that gives them a thought or a way of thinking that maybe they haven't heard before. And so I discussed this further in my book called Empowering Gen Z, Practical Lessons to Take Students from Z to A++. And I go into detail, actual detail about what one of those conversations, real conversations with the student that I've had, and what that looked like, what that felt like, what was going through their head, my head, in that conversation. And it gave you kind of a look at it through a microscopic lens. So now the next question really is, you're like, okay, I want to be more inspirational and all that stuff to give them hope, which is great. But the question you have to ask yourself then, and I ask myself this all the time, is how do you know that this inspiration is paying off, right? Like that it's actually sinking in and moving these individuals in ways that you maybe didn't think was even possible. So tomorrow I'll talk about that a little bit more in tomorrow's live session. And as always, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. And I look forward to speaking with you soon. So have a great day, and I will see you later. Bye.